New video shows the moment a semi hit multiple cars in Orange County, putting multiple people in the hospital. This happened on Orange Avenue, just north of Holden Avenue, around 7:30 this morning. FHP says the semi driver had a medical episode, veered into oncoming traffic, and hit two cars before it hit three parked cars outside of a business. The semi driver is in the hospital with serious injuries this evening. A driver and passenger of one of the cars was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The crash remains under investigation.
So let me say this first. If you're driving right now, take a breath, loosen your grip on that steering wheel, because today's episode is personal. It's not easy. Recently, as you can see, I lost someone I knew in the industry. My friend Smooth passed away. He had a medical emergency while driving, ran off the road, and later passed. I met Smooth as an instructor, and you know how it is. You meet somebody in the training world, and you can tell like immediately if somebody is solid or if they full of shit. And Smooth was definitely a solid guy. And what really made us click was motorcycles. Yeah, Smooth, oh, there it goes right there. Motorcycles is what we had in common. We both ride, so that bond was just something different, and it wasn't just work. You know what I'm saying? It was something real. So this one hit a little bit different. This isn't just sad news. This is a reality in trucking that we don't talk about enough. So losing a friend is what made me want to do this podcast episode. So today, before I get started, I want to send my love and condolences to his family, his people, and everybody who loved him. And I also want this moment to mean something, because if we don't learn from what's happening to us out there, we'll keep attending funerals instead of retirement. Yeah. So to Smooth's family, his friends, his people, I'm sending my deepest condolences. And if you're listening and you knew him, this episode is also for you. Baby, because listen, trucking will replace the truck, but your people can't replace you. Okay? So look, this episode is for the drivers who keep saying, oh, I'll check it when I get home. Or, I'm too busy. Or it's probably nothing. Or I'm fine. Or I just need to take a quick nap, right? Because fine has been taking drivers out. We all, if you've driven long enough, we all have seen where the police come and rope a truck off. And we know what that means. We have drivers dying alone in their truck. And hold on, I'm not only talking to the drivers, I'm also talking to the carriers and the safety departments. Because if we can track following distance down to the second, we can track drivers' wellness better than we do. All right. So today it's personal, but today we're talking about the loads we don't talk about, which is health, mental well-being, and just your mental state on the road, period. So let's dive into it.
You're listening to the 10 Radio with Mia. 23 years in the game, still shifting gears, still dropping gems, and still gorgeous truck her strong.
Before we start, do me a favor and lock in with the show. You can listen to 10-4 Radio, the Yard Talk podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Gorgeous Truck Hers, and subscribe on YouTube at 10-4 Radio, the Yard Talk. Now, welcome to 10-4 Radio. I'm your host, Mia, or as most call me, your favorite trucking auntie. Let's get into it.
Artlist.io.
right. So let's talk about what's uncomfortable. All right. Drivers get sick out here. Drivers having heart attacks out here. Drivers having strokes out here. Drivers dying in their truck alone out here. Drivers passing out, crashing, and not making it home. Let's talk about it. So literally, some drivers have no one checking on them. Some don't have benefits. Some are scared to report symptoms because they think they'll lose miles. And some think their med card won't get renewed, right? And that right there is the trap. We keep choosing the check over the checkup. Some of y'all are hauling loads like your body isn't carrying one too. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So let's start with the physical health on the road, right? I have the big four, okay? The big four would be, the first one is sleep debt, which we know is extremely dangerous, right? Fatigue. Sleeping isn't a luxury. It's a safety device, okay? And fatigue will make you do dumb shit like miss exits, drifting lanes, everybody didn't hit that rumble strip on the side and woke yourself up, misjudging gaps, rushing, being impatient, being irritable. And it will also wreck your heart, your hormones, and your mood. Yeah. Number 2 of the big four is your blood pressure and your heart health. A lot of drivers don't even know their numbers. High blood pressure is quiet until it ain't. Okay? Know your numbers. Number 3 of the big four would be diabetes and blood sugar, right? If you're living off energy drinks, chips, truck stop food, the roller food, your body is definitely on a roller coaster too. And the last one of the big four is sitting, circulation. Long hauls and just sitting increases the risk of blood clots, swelling, pain, and inflammation. Okay. Your body wasn't built to be parked for 11 hours. This is why getting up and having some type of mobility is important. Listen, if your truck has better maintenance than your body, baby, we got to fix that. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, so they say, oh, Mia, okay, what can we do about it? What can we do out here, right? So I've put together 5 rules, little driver-friendly rules, right? I call it the 5-5-5 rule. So the first one I would suggest doing is 5 minutes in the morning before you even roll, right? Before you start rolling, you get up out your sleeper. Maybe you're sitting on the side. Do a quick stretch, right? Do a quick neck roll, shoulders, back, get moving, stand up and just kind of do some stretches, right? Also, while you're sitting there, try to just sit there. First off, we have a bad habit. All of us do. The first thing a lot of us do is we grab this thing, right? Before you even touch this, let's do this 5-minute morning routine. Okay. So while you're sitting there, take a couple of deep breaths. Let's say 10, just to kind of get everything going. All right. And then ask yourself, how do I feel? Do I feel dizzy? Am I short of breath? Do I have any kind of weird chest pains? Am I just feeling off? Right? These are questions you can ask yourself, and be honest with yourself. All right. The next one of the 5-5-5 rule would be 5 minutes during your fuel stops. While you're there fueling, walk some laps around your truck. You go inside, you're standing there fueling, just walk around your truck a couple of times. Okay. Maybe do some leg lifts, again, do some stretches. This helps circulation. Drink water before caffeine. That's the key point. Water before caffeine. Okay. The next one I would suggest is 5 minutes before you go to sleep. 5 minutes before you go to sleep. Don't just lay there. And again, these phones, don't just lay there and stroll for 30 minutes. Okay. If you can help it. I know it's hard. I'm guilty of it too. No, just doom strolling. All right. So Try to do some light stretches. Again, more circulation. And then what about writing, like getting something like a journal or something where you can write something that matters to you. Today, I'm proud of whatever that may look like. Even if you have just a little notebook and just sit on the side of your bunk and just write it. So it's just something to do. It gets your mind working, and it keeps you out of this phone. The next one I would suggest is nutrition. Nutrition, I would say get what I call a survival pack. So that's nuts, tuna packs, or the little tuna bowls or whatever. Protein bars, not candy, protein bars, like some beef or turkey, jerky, fruit cups, and water, of course. And then one upgrade a day. Swap one thing that you can change. So water instead of soda, a grilled chicken sandwich instead of a fried chicken sandwich, and add fruit. So the whole point of that is you don't need a perfect routine. You just need something that's repeatable, something that you can stick to, something that you can not be overwhelmed with doing. And I feel like the 5-5-5 rule is doable. Again, this is just my opinion, something I put together and that I think would help. All right, so now let's switch gears a little bit. Now let's talk about mental health, because some of y'all are physically alive but mentally drowning. Isolation, stress, pressure to perform, family problems at home, money worries, dispatch is stressing you, and you're expected to just handle it. Yeah. But ignoring mental health doesn't make you strong. It makes you a ticking time bomb, literally. So let me give you some signs that you might be struggling. So the first one I have here is you're constantly irritated. Constantly irritated. The next one will be you can't sleep even when you're tired. How many of you have had that? You feel numb. You're anxious for no reason at all. You're overeating or not eating, one or the other. You're losing joy in everything. And you feel like you're always on edge, or just, it's always something that, you just feel on edge. Yeah. And a lot of drivers self-medicate with caffeine, nicotine, alcohol when they're off duty, or just shutting down emotionally. Some of y'all don't need another load. You need a lifeline, literally. If I'm talking about it, then I want to have a solution to it or a suggestion to help that. So I have a couple of suggestions. What can you do? So one thing I suggest is having a check-in system or a safety plan. So the first thing I would say is create a check-in buddy. One person every day, a quick text or call. It ain't got to be nothing major. It's, hey, what's up? You good? How you doing out there? Quick. It ain't got to be long and drawn out. All right. The second one is use location sharing with someone you trust. This is important, especially with all the crazy stuff that's been going on in the world. Now, this isn't about control. It's about safety. So take your emotions out of it. Take your pride out of it. It's just about safety. All right. Also, know the red flags, medical emergency warning signs, meaning, okay, chest pains or pressure, sudden shortness of breath, sudden weakness, numbness, especially if it's on one side, confusion, trouble speaking, severe headache out of nowhere, nausea out of nowhere, fainting or near fainting. If any of that happens, do not push it to the next exit. Don't just say, I'll check it when I get to the next exit. You may not make it to the next exit. See, we take a lot of stuff for granted. We take time for granted. We take a lot of things for granted that are luxury. You do not push it to the next exit. Get to a safe stop and call for help. Pull over safely and call for help. Okay. The other one I would say is build calm tools like you can do while you're driving. So, breathing while you're sitting at a light. Like breathe in and hold it and then breathe out. Positive audio. Things like, maybe some positive affirmation, comedy, faith, motivation sounds, podcasts that the point is shit that's not going to stress you out or anything that's going to feed you negativity. Okay. Also, set boundaries. Boundaries are important. Don't argue with dispatch while you're driving. Pull over. If you need to speak with them, pull over, come to a stop, and then talk to them about whatever it is that they would like to talk to you about. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to the companies. Real quick. If your wellness program is a poster in the break room, that's not a program. Okay? If a driver dies and the first conversation is about the load, that tells me everything I need to know about your company. And drivers, pay attention. Companies will replace you. They'll replace you quicker than they replace that truck. Some of y'all driving old ass trucks. But guess if something happens to you and you die, guess how quick somebody gonna be in that same truck you in. Don't let people stress you out to the point of your health being affected. So back to the companies. My opinion of what companies should do. The first thing is regular wellness check-ins that aren't, about the load. Genuinely caring about how the driver is doing. Easier access to health screenings, blood pressure checks, glucose, just the basic vitals. Mental health resources that drivers can actually use, such as like telehealth or things like that. Something that they can access while they're out there. Also, I feel like companies should encourage rest without punishing drivers financially for being human. Not robots. Yeah. And the last one I feel is important should be to train the leaders to recognize burnout and distress. Not just to recognize safety metrics, not to just look at the cameras when something's going on, not to just look at the hours of service or not, train leaders on how to recognize burnout and when a driver is really in distress. You can't safety first your way out of ignoring drivers' wellness. How does that work? Let me know. So, yeah. I hope this helped somebody. I hope it resonated with somebody, and I hope it makes you guys take your health a lot more serious than you are. So I want to close this the same way I started, with love and respect. To my friend who passed, Smooth, may you rest easy, bro. And to the family, again, my condolences. I'm praying for your strength, for everybody knew Smooth, because he was definitely a person to know. So it's definitely a loss. To every driver listening, please hear me. Your life is worth more than a delivery window. Yeah. If this episode made you think of somebody, send it to them. Check on your people. Check on yourself. Also, if you're in a crisis or feel like you might harm yourself, I will link the crisis line below. And in the description of this, reach out to somebody, okay? You don't have to carry that load alone. I promise you don't, all right? So let's end this like we always do, with love and some positivity. You guys be safe out there. Check in on your people. Call somebody if you need somebody, all right? Be safe. Thank you guys so much for joining 10-4 Radio, The Yard Talk. I will see you guys next week. 10-4? 10-4.
Thanks for watching.